The thing is today, Nisha, the video is about beer. And I'm not sure when it's going up, but I looked in my fridge and I have a protein shake and a beer. So what should be today's drink of choice?
Definitely beer.
Oh, okay. I was hoping you'd say that. So you know I want to go to the gym later, but okay, beer it is. Product placement is a necessary evil of the movie-making world, and there's a good chance that if you watch a movie that features a product in some significant way, someone, somewhere paid for that thing to appear in front of your eyeballs. That is, unless, of course, you're watching all 8 Fast and Furious movies in a row, in which case, all the Corona you see on screen is there for no particular reason. I wanted to go to the gym today. I could probably still go after a beer, it'd be fine, but this is a big beer, which makes it super annoying. Share it. Well, you can get a drink if you want one. Would you like a drink, Nisha? You can if you're okay. What do you want? We've got the fridge here. I've got
many Diet Coke.
Yeah, I have Diet Coke and water.
Oh, Diet Coke.
Okay. Would you like to put something in it? There is booze behind you on the shelf. Okay.
Hold on.
This is going in. The rule is, if it's funny, it goes in. I can't now wait. Have you ever, while you're off grabbing the crap, have you seen the comments we get on videos when videos go on trending? And you always get someone who comes in going, why is he talking to the camera person? This is stupid. Get to the point. I just think, oh, you naive young fool. You small young child with ribbons in your hair. There you go.
Thank you.
I was going to pick this up and flip it then. I went, that's a stupid idea because that would just be beer everywhere. One day I should do that. Do you know when, like, the end of the channel? When I realised, fuck YouTube, I should get a beer and just spray it over everything. Go on. Oh, look at that.
Cracking of a can.
What?
The cracking of a can.
Oh, you need a glass, don't you? Damn it. Oh, God.
I was going to pour it into the...
I'm just going to walk off camera.
Thank you.
Oh, God.
Oh, that's cute.
Maybe this is not all going in. Some of it can. Edit round. Hello, people listening to the raw cut of this one.
Whoever it is. Yeah, I'm not driving, so...
Oh, right, I didn't realise. So I remember you said earlier I'm not driving. I went, oh, cool. We probably could have planned to have a drink today. It's fine, because I'm going to the gym tomorrow and I'm going on Sunday.
I'm driving this evening.
That's fine.
That'll be after, all the drinks and food.
No, that's fine.
It should be fine. But yeah, not today.
Man, so this is now a drinking video, and your first one, Nisha. In which case, what's my line?
What's your line?
Yeah, what's that? Do you remember?
No. Sorry.
It's fine.
I think my microphone was hidden in my hoodie.
Oh, no.
So, no.
You've not even started drinking yet, and you're already messing up the video. I can't wait for just one shot of it just falling over. Let's see if I can get this into the bin then while I'm doing it. Yeah.
No.
Went in.
What's Corona got to do with the Fast and Furious movies?
It's got everything to do with the Fast and Furious movies. That and family. It's Corona and family, the two tenets of the Fast and Furious universe. And basically, it's mentioned by name by members of the principal cast in virtually every mainline Fast and Furious movie, bar, I think, 1 or 2, where they had an actual deal with another beer manufacturer, where they told them, no, please stop doing that. And yeah, it's drunk on screen by every member of the principal cast. It is mentioned repeatedly by Vin Diesel, pictured here before he became the 4th most popular bald character in his own movie, which is my favourite insult I've ever written. I love that. Have you ever heard any of the behind-the-scenes stuff about Vin Diesel hating the Fast and Furious movies now?
No.
Because he started the Fast and Furious movies, and he was the main character for a bit. And then, they brought in The Rock, and they brought in Jason Statham. And, Jason Statham and The Rock are way more charismatic than growly Vin Diesel. Yeah. This stupid fucking tank top and weird bloody silver cross thing. And so they started getting more screen time than him. And he had a fallout with The Rock in one of their movies. And they never appear on screen together. Because Vin Diesel's an executive producer and just shut it all down. No! And I like the idea that he's the 4th most popular bald character. Because there's so many bald people in that movie. It's so good. And I want them to keep making these movies because the Fast and Furious movies is the only cinematic universe that has actually succeeded. The DC universe failed. The Universal Dark Universe failed. The MCU is reigning king. The Fast and Furious universe is the most profitable. It's literally the 8th most profitable series of movies of all time. Like, it's up there with Star Wars and the MCU. It's crazy. And they've got spin-offs coming out, like Hobbs and Shaw. And I think in one of those movies, like Judi Dench is in those movies. So they're starting to reach the point of like the MCU where they can get in like actual big name actors and get us to do stupid shit. Like Charlize Theron's in one of those movies. She got stupid fucking white girl dreadlocks in and kisses Vin Diesel. It's so bad.
How many Fast and Furious are there now?
There are 8, and there is a spin-off coming. The 8th one's actually pretty good, except for every scene with Vin Diesel on screen. If you like, because he's the bad guy of the movie, which I think Vin Diesel had a lot to do with, because that way he gets more screen time and he gets to look like a badass. Yeah. Because obviously The Rock is well known for his action movies, and in that movie, Vin Diesel's like this unstoppable god king who everyone fears. And in the same movie, I have a footage of The Rock escaping from prison, where he takes like riot rounds to the head and just goes, "Don't do that, please." Like him and Jason Statham, like this prison escape scene, that's probably one of the best choreographed fight scenes I've seen in a major motion picture for ages. But then Vin Diesel's on screen shouting remote. It's like, he's growling at the screen. It's like, Vin Diesel, no. Please just edit these movies, have less of you in them. I want more of The Rock. I want more of this burgeoning bromance that's happening. Look at this love blooming on this battlefield. Fuck you, Vin Diesel. Your story sucks. It's over. I want to write him out of the next movie and just say he goes wherever the fuck Paul Walker's character is, just so we can have more Rock and Jason Statham bromance. It's like Idris Elba's in their movie, and he's playing a guy wearing a robot suit who punches people. That's fucking awesome. But then you've got Vin Diesel going, no, it's about family. No, it's about fucking biceps and elbow drops. Get on it.
So Corona have not paid anything for this?
No, according to both Corona and the people who make the Fast and Furious movies, the company has never paid so much as a dick warm penny for any of the product placement in those movies. The closest they've come to paying in some way is sending the production crew free bottles of Corona while they're filming to use in scenes and for the cast and crew to enjoy after filming is wrapped for the day. And that's it. And which sounds like basically a drop in the bucket for product placement in one of the most successful movie franchises of all fucking time. And there are probably some people out there watching this who are still incredulous that Corona hasn't paid any money for their product to appear so prominently in these movies. And what I say to those people is just watch the clips we're putting in and notice that the label for Corona isn't constantly pointed towards the camera, which is usually a stipulation that a lot of companies have. Like Coca-Cola and Pepsi are famous for it, where if you drink a bottle of Pepsi or a can of Pepsi or a can of Coke in your movie, the label has to be pointed directly towards the camera. There's a famous shot in Elf where he downs like the 3-litre bottle of Coca-Cola and the logo is just pointed directly towards the screen for like a straight 10 seconds. Or in Jack and Jill, when they're all sat in the movie theatre and it's in a row and there's like 6 different Coca-Cola cups, all of the label pointed straight towards the camera. In Fast and Furious, it's no, to pick up the bottle and drink out of it, it's a prop. We're not advertising it. You're drinking it because it's your character likes this beer, not because Corona paid us millions of dollars. Product placement, it's a necessary evil of filmmaking, and it can be done poorly, it can be done well. But is there anything you've seen in a movie that you've like wanted to buy or try or use because it was featured so prominently in one? Because I'm still annoyed that Barbasol, the shaving cream from Jurassic Park, do you know that he hides it in the Jurassic? He hides all the dinosaur embryos. That's not a thing you can get in the UK. Apparently, it's like big in America, and every time they release a new Jurassic Park movie, they release like a special Jurassic Park version of that. But I'm annoyed I can't use that because I would definitely use the shaving cream. Yes, I do shave, believe it or not. If it was the one from Jurassic Park, because that shit's awesome. Is there anything from like a movie that you've been tempted to buy or use just because really? No, like no.
Literally,
advertising doesn't work on Nisha. Look at it.
It just like washes over me. I just think, oh, that's so and so. If I recognise a brand, I'm like, oh, that's whatever, Coke or whatever. But
I don't get why Coca-Cola does like advertising anymore. Like, it's the most globally recognised brand on the planet. Yeah. But there are just little things that I look and go, that's really fucking awesome. I want that. And that fucking Barbasol shaving cream is one of them. Just because I can use the one that nearly killed Dennis Nedry. It's like, yeah. I want that. And I think they even released a special edition of it where it opened up and you could store stuff inside. And it's like, no, I want that. Because imagine going to the bathroom, it's like, Joe, your secret aftershave that you don't want your mates to use, and they're over. Yeah, that's right. Fucking too right. So if product placement doesn't work on you, what kind of ads do?
Well, the ones that keep catching my eye is the ones on Instagram.
Oh, so your influencers I get, Nisha.
Because they know, like, obviously they kind of tailor it to, I'm assuming your Instagram feed. I follow a lot of, like, cat Instagrams. Like that crazy cat lady.
So what kind of ads do you get for that?
I get a lot of clothes with cats on.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say I get a lot of clothes. It's like, people wear clothes. It's not...
It's just like cat themed.
I see.
Or cat, jewellery. And I'm just like, it's so cute, but they're always on, like, American websites. And I'm like...
I'm not paying postage and packaging on that shit.
It's really cute stuff, but I don't trust...
So I follow like 3 pages. I think one of them's yours, and then one of them's like a dog page. And I always get ads for watches. And I want to know if this is a thing that just happens to blokes, because I have never worn a watch in my entire fucking life.
Really?
I have no interest in owning a watch. It's not a piece of jewellery or an accessory that I give any sort of a flying fuck about. I constantly get adverts for watches on Instagram. I want to know, is this a thing other people have noticed?
They know.
I don't know. It's because I've never had an interest in him. And every time I see the ad, I click it and I say, I am not interested. This is not relevant to me. The next day, I go look at my pictures of my dogs. Another watch advert. I don't give a fuck. Please stop doing this. I want to know, why is that happening to me? Why do they want me to own a watch so much?
It's like, we will change him.
Oh, it's like when I was buying stuff for this office and I bought a camera. I bought like lighting. I bought like, screens and stuff like that, and now they send me ads like, oh, do you want to buy another one? No, I bought it. Surely your analytics tell you I bought the camera. I don't need another one. But the idea of like, you bought one, do you want to buy another one? No, just get two cameras. We can let's do fact Fiend like from a slightly different angle and make it 3D. Cut to a different angle so you can just see me and you can just see all the crap I've got behind me.
The worst adverts I see are the ones on Facebook which are from Wish.
I've heard that's so bad.
There's one I posted on my Twitter and I was just like, what is this? Because I can't remember what it was. I think it's like some sort of like trousers or tights that had like a gap in the thigh where your thigh just stuck out, and I was like,
what's the fucking point of that? It's like
I remember what it was.
Pre-laddered tights?
It was a pair of leggings, and only one leg had a thigh cut out, and I was just like, what is that for? What is the point?
No, that's when you're in the car. So the guy you're driving can have one hand on your thigh, one hand on the wheel. Which is one of my favourite memes, which I like all the remixes. It's like the Kermit hand. It's like one hand on her thigh, one hand on the wheel. It's just the Kermit hands, man. So, oh, God. I think Facebook ads and Instagram ads are the worst. Because it's always the same thing. I don't know why you keep doing it. It's usually T-shirts. Which I get because I always got my Redbubble store, so I guess that makes sense. Because it's like, oh, you're interested in t-shirts? Like, no, I'm uploading artwork to the store, you knobhead. I buy plain t-shirts from Primark for £3. Utilitarian, cheap. It's what you need. And they keep saying, yeah, but wouldn't you like to spend like 60 quid on this t-shirt? It's like, no. Why would I give a fuck? Also, the guy in your ad looks like a shithead. I don't want to look like him.
So why is Corona so prominent in these films?
No one really knows. And there's an interview with the franchise producer for Fast and Furious, Neil Moritz, and they ask him, like, what's the deal with Corona? And he says, oh, yeah, it's the official beer of the movies. To which the interviewer responds, well, have they paid you? He goes, oh, no. We just like Corona. To which the incredulous interviewer asks, but you've given them hundreds of millions of dollars of free advertising. Yeah. To which Neil Moritz just responded with the equivalent of, well, yeah. And that's it. Like, he had no answer. He just shrugged and just went, okay, sure. It's like, yeah, you've given them hundreds of millions of dollars worth of advertising, which is not an exactly true fact because industry analysts have concluded that it's closer to about $15 to $20 million worth of free advertising. Which is still a lot of free advertising when it's when you're counting a number with millions after it. That's a pretty high amount of numbers, and like to this day, there has never been a conclusive answer about why they feature like Corona so prominently in these movies. And its inclusion in the movies has been quite profitable for Corona, who remember haven't paid a fucking penny for this, because they see a noticeable uptick in sales of their beer every single time a Fast and Furious movie is released. And yet, no one has a conclusive answer about why this is the case. Like, the closest we've ever gotten is when, like, someone involved with, like, the first movie was asked, why are they all drinking Corona? And the guy went, well, it just makes sense. What makes sense? Well, they're from Southern California. It's a surfer beer. Well, these are street criminals who steal cars and DVD players. But yes, go on. And he said, no, that's it. Oh, okay. Thank you. And that's it. That's as close as we've got. And the guy's like, it makes sense. Really? It makes sense that criminals drink Corona? Which cracks me up because the characters in Fast and Furious, they're all criminals. They are horrible criminals. In the first movie, I want to talk about this because Vin Diesel has tried so hard to make his character likable. And have you watched the first?
It's not a series that ever appealed to me, but I kind of fancy watching it now.
Watch the first one now because it's so dated. The first thing they steal in that movie is DVD players. Or VHS, they steal something like, they steal like old big CRTs with like the built-in VHS players, I think, or some shit. It's so hilarious. When you think like 10 years down the line, they'll be fighting people with robot suits. But in that first movie, Vin Diesel's character is a criminal who viciously beats truckers half to death. And in one scene where Vin Diesel's trying to go for his Oscar, where he tries to emote, which he can't do, he's a terrible actor, he says the reason he became a criminal is because his dad was a racer and he died in a horrible car crash, a complete accident. And then a few days later, he saw the guy who caused the accident, and Vin Diesel's character viciously beat him with a tire iron to such an extent he is now permanently mentally disabled. And that is supposed to be the hero of this movie. A guy who beats someone so viciously they are permanently disabled for accidentally killing their dad in a legal race which his dad signed on to take part in. So obviously it's a tragedy. It's a tragedy. It's an awful thing. Like his dad died in this race, but at the same time, like it's been an accident. And Vin Diesel even says it was an accident. Yeah. And then in the same sentence says, but then I went and beat up the guy responsible so bad he's got permanent mental damage. And then he expects me, the viewer, watching this at home because I'm watching all of them in a row on Netflix, to sympathise with his character, who throughout the movie has just been beating up truckers and stealing like DVD players. No. Fuck you, Vin Diesel. Your character sucks ass. That's why Hobbs is a better character. Jason Statham's character is like more likeable than him. And he's like an assassin for hire because his backstory is, I was in like the SAS or some shit. Like his backstory is, oh yeah, I'm an assassin who kills people. But at the same time, like he was like a war hero who got the Victoria Cross and then got fucked over by the government. And obviously went, fuck it, I'm just going to be a criminal now. So at least you know he was a good guy. But Vin Diesel's character, what your story? Oh, I had a childhood where I had like, a successful, famous dad, and then he passed away tragically. And my response was to horribly beat up a man who it was a complete accident, and then act like I'm the victim, and then beat up truckers and steal their shit, and talk about family while drinking Corona. Fuck you, Vin Diesel. So this is the conclusion to our first ever full day of filming, Nisha. How do you feel? And you can click with a drinking video, which was your choice. So good luck editing this one.
Well, that's if it is me that edits it.
It's gonna, yeah, we'll make Brad edit this one. It's just, just insult Brad for 10 minutes. And then he's got to find a way to edit it for a conclusion.
Yeah, we have to insult him and then he has to find a way to edit it to make him sound good.
Yeah, he's going to try and edit it in between games of Fortnite. That's not working, mate. I don't care what you say. You playing Fortnite while a video renders, that's not working. When a video's rendering, do you know what I do? I do other work.
Yeah. House chores.
So I do, yeah. Me sat there watching it render is not work. That's me sat on my fucking ass. I know what you're doing. I've seen it. So I think I've heard a story like that from someone before where, like, I think we were all going to the pub or something, and I heard, like, oh, Brad's like, I've got to go home and work. And I found out later he was just on fucking Fortnite watching a video render. It's like, that's not work, dude. Stop it. You don't have to tell me you're working. As long as the video gets uploaded, I don't care. Everyone gets paid as long as the video gets uploaded on time.
When I did the Cloudy with Chats and Meatball puns,
oh, God.
it was a bit late uploaded.
Oh, no, it's fine.
Everything kept going wrong.
See, I don't see any of the behind the scenes stuff. I just record the videos and then I go do my own work, my own thing. But I do hear every now and again, like, oh, we can't edit this particular part because you spoke too quickly, so we can't do a cut. And my answer is always the same. I don't care. If it looks bad, it looks bad. It's 5 seconds in a 10-minute long video and there'll be another one released next week.
My train of thought is usually, as long as Karl's happy.
I'm happy as long as I see the video go up. I don't care if it's 10 minutes of a black screen with me talking over it. It's fine.
Like, I can be a bit of a perfectionist because I'd like export something and notice a little bit is a bit off with the green screen or something doesn't fade correctly and I have to go back and fix it.
Yeah, so I'm similar in some ways, but it gets to a point where I go, fuck it, it'll do.
Yeah.
Because like my perfectionist tendencies were eroded away when I realised the vast majority of the internet doesn't care. There's probably a significant portion of the people watching this video right now who aren't even looking at the screen. It is open in another tab, or it is on like a TV as they're doing work on like another screen. And my favourite group of all is probably the people who are watching it when they're asleep because the video is just playing in the background. So to those people, you are strong, confident man or woman who can do anything they want to do. Remember that. Also, remember to watch more of my videos. So I've always said, what's the worst thing you've woken up to like on your, like, do you know the YouTube bloody recommended chain?
Yeah.
What's the worst thing that's happened to you? 'Cause, like, I'm assuming like most people, you've fallen asleep watching it before. What's the worst thing you've woken up to just on your screen? Going, how the fuck did it end up on this? The worst one for me is after a night out once, I was sleeping on the sofa and my mate took my bed.
Yeah.
And I just had my laptop and I was like watching some videos. And I think I was watching like Today I Found Out. Because, I watched some like support Simon Whistler. And I watched that and then in the recommended it became one of my videos for this channel because obviously we're linked in their thing and it was like crossover there. So my friend walked in as me asleep and it looked like I've been watching my own videos. I'm like, no! I look like such a fucking arsehole, like narcissistic prickhead, just watching my own videos to like my own voice to soothe me to sleep.
I think like recently I've watched a lot of these story time videos because I like hearing like people either basically bitching about people that they used to live with or like places they used to work. Like,
oh, story time as in like what we do on this channel where it's like just tell a story from. I thought you meant like it's like actually reading bedtime stories.
Oh no.
Okay.
Like it'd be like worst customer experience, blah blah, or like paranormal videos of people's experiences. So I'll fall asleep listening to them and wake up on another story of the same sort of thing.
Oh man.
I don't know.
Have you ever seen like the meme template for like the YouTuber storyteller? Where it's just like, oh yeah, YouTuber. It's like, oh, guy in parking lot asked me for the time. The thumbnail on YouTube, it's like, I was almost kidnapped.
Yeah.
It's like that sort of thing. It's like YouTuber, like, you know, pan falls off top shelf in house. YouTuber, it's like, my house is haunted, I've got to get out.
There was one I watched which was it's like clickbait, isn't it?
They're all, yeah, the most hyperbolic headline possible.
There was one I watched which was this girl talking about, said, when my ex beat me up or something like that. So I was just like out of curiosity, like, oh, this would be an interesting story. And
what an interesting story, domestic violence.
It's just I don't know, I just like listening to people's side of stories
that
happened to them. But yeah, she never once mentioned being, hit
physically
hit. Like she'd talk about
with a title like that. I expect at least one stunner to have been delivered during that relationship.
The whole video, she was talking about an argument they had, and it's like, well, he didn't lay a finger on you, so. Yeah,
the title of that, like, the title is what I have the problem with. Yeah, you shouldn't yell at your spouse or the person you're in a relationship with, but at the same time, don't use domestic violence as clickbait. A sentence I never thought I'd have to say. It's like, I never thought when I first started making YouTube videos, I would have to have an opinion on whether or not it's okay to put a suicide victim in a thumbnail, which is something I got asked my opinion on that. It's like, of course, it's horrendous, it's awful, the person should go fuck off forever. Why is this even an argument? It's so bad.
The videos are bad enough about what they're about, but to lie about it is worse, because it's just people, interested in hearing them stories, and then to lie about it happening to you. Like,
Well, that's the thing. It's like it's the over-escalation, isn't it? It's like, it's me and my boyfriend had an argument. I was beaten up. Like, no, don't do that. It's like, no, that's really bad. Don't. Why YouTube? Don't make clickbait. We don't make clickbait.
No.
We see it was about Corona. We talked about Corona. It's so easy. Just make the content. Make your content interesting. You don't have to like oversell it or overact.
Yeah.
I say like wildly flailing, drinking a giant ass beer, the biggest beer ever. It's great. 3 for a £5. Good deal. That's not product placement. That's just me saying that you get a good deal at Tesco.
You'll soon get sponsored by Cobra.
I don't think we can. Beer sponsors can't sponsor stuff in the UK. Unfortunate. You're not allowed to drink it on camera, which is why you know this is not product placement.
Isn't it true that, like when there's like adverts on TV when they're advertising alcohol, they're not supposed to show a drink?
You are not allowed to physically imbibe the alcohol on screen. It has to be suggested, which is why they always cut from about the person about to take a swig. Although we'll have like really nice like brand shots of like the drink being poured, and the person will just hold it and then they'll talk to their friends in like a nightclub setting.
Actually drink it.
Yeah. And they somehow are stood in a busy nightclub that sells expensive vodka, but they can hear each other talking. Yeah.
That's not real. On nights out, I just lose my voice and my hearing.
Oh God, no! Just become silent, become ghost.
Because I'm quiet anyway. I just imagine me having to shout.
I can't imagine you yelling.
And that's why, like, at the end of the night, I sound so manly. I'm like, oh.
Just growling at people over like the breakfast the next morning. All right, how you doing, lad? Oh man.